I find so astounding about your career is that it's like a thing we talk about on this show all the time. Like we get all these questions. How do you start? And how do you break in and all this stuff? And I think you're a quintessential example of you started and you finished. It's like you figured out how to create an act in 20 minutes and an hour, and then also you filmed it and also you released it. You basically cut out every middleman that there is in show business.
Oh,
and there's only a few people who've done that. Like I remember talking to Alana and Abby from Broad City, and there's a handful of people, but that's kind of it. Like there's a few people who've done it, and that's kind of it. I'm just curious, like how did you start doing that?
I had always been writing a lot, and then a good friend of mine was like, you should do topical stuff since you already write so much stuff, because I think he had told me that he hadn't seen me do the same set, and he had seen me like 8 or 10 times in the course of like a couple months, but it was always like, some of them were mics and some of them were shows. So it's like, I've always written a lot, and I've always like tried to think a thing out quickly and then write it out quickly and stuff. But then applying it to topical was the first time that I was like, oh yeah, there will be finally a place for all this stuff to go.
Right.
Because what I had been doing before I started posting it online was just sort of like doing the joke for a week or a month and then just like moving on outside of my opener and closer. So like opener and closer would stay the same because they were my favorite 2 jokes.
Yeah.
And then everything else would just like move around from there. And so then when we decided to start putting it out, I was just going up at the cellar, and then the seller's kind enough to like tape the set and then give it to you. So then I was just taking that tape, and then the only real pressure was that because the seller's taking the tape of your performance and giving it to you, I really had to just like get it in one.
Yes, that's
and
right.
so then getting it in one became what felt like the real like free flowing, conscious joke to joke to joke to story to joke.
Yeah.
And then once I started booking some more dates on the road, because I had started doing this during the writer's strike, so I wasn't like working at Daily Show at the time, and I wasn't on the road as much because things were like fine but not great.
Yeah.
And then when I finally started getting some bookings, I was like, well, let's try to keep to that thing. Like, can we get it in one?
Yeah.
And so there would come times where you had 2 or 3 shows in a night, and so it's like 3 chances.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, I think the middle one went best, and so you still just put it up that way.
Yeah.
And then I think it's a product of being a little bit annoying that I have a lot of feelings and thoughts on everything. And I think that I finally found a way to channel it that is not annoying in real time, if that makes sense. So it's like now I don't have to burden my girlfriend and my friends with this like long series of things that I think are funny about something.
Yeah.
But still, if they don't care about the thing, then we were already off to a bad start.
I think comedians, significant others everywhere will relate to this part of it.
Yeah. It's like at least uploading to YouTube gives my girlfriend some relief of me just talking all the time.
That could substitute for therapy.
I suppose so. Yeah.
Yeah. For couples therapy. I mean, yeah, because it is interesting. You have this uncanny skill of being able to just go and go and go. And so few comics have that.
I mean, I wonder if there's like a correlation with it and being an only child, because that could maybe help. You know what I mean?
You think so?
I think that like everything I do on YouTube is what I used to do to my mom. Yeah, I mean, it's like
that's how they invented YouTube.
Yeah,
it was,
just
it was
me
originally kind of excess
and my single mom,
spillover from your mom.
100%.
Yeah,
and so then it would just be me
that's
going.
What Bo Burnham's all early videos were all about.
Yeah, I remember that. No, I would just go on and on and on, and then like I could also before I ever really thought about comedy in that way necessarily. I like making my mom laugh.
Yeah.
But I would see where my mom, as like gracious as she is and was at the time to this like little kid who could just go on and on forever.
Yeah.
I would see the dip. I'd see where I started like bombing with my
Right.
mom. I've told my friends this before. They know of like, sometimes I would be talking to my mom and she'd be like, oh yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And it's like, once you get one of those, it's like, all right, you gotta, there needs to be a turn.
You gotta pick it up. You gotta there's gotta be a surprise.
Yeah. Where's the twist?
Where's the punchline?
Yeah.
Where's the turn?
Yeah. You gotta bring it home now. Once you get that's only a parent's love too.
That is so good.
You know?
That's exactly right. I mean, but it is a really unique skill because most comedians, you watch and you go, okay, there's the joke, there's the joke, there's the joke, and you just have a flow on stage. You just keep going. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's, I don't know. I think there's always a grass is greener aspect to doing comedy because I see other people and I'm like, oh man, sometimes I wish I thought like that. Like I'm still glad that I'm me. When everything is said and done, I like doing comedy the way that I do it because it's how I process things. Mm-hmm. But then you'll see someone who's just like so sharp and punchy, and sometimes I'm like, ooh, I wonder if I should do more of that, or like I wish I thought that way. And then you come back to yourself and you're like, all right, I enjoy the way that I think. Like it's not like pure wishing I was like someone else.
Yeah.
But I think that it's worked out in that way that I'm doing something that isn't as normally done. So there's like, at least for the time being, some appetite for it, which is nice because I feel like when I was just doing these things but not topical and not recording, it was like no one noticed it, if that makes sense.
No, totally. I mean, I think it's astonishing and like a great example for a lot of creatives listening to this show. And like I always say, like, there are things that you can make that years ago, 10 years ago, would cost $10,000, $20,000, $30,000.
Yeah.
That now cost like $500.
Yeah.
In terms of like camera technology and videoing things on iPhones and stuff like that. Like you're basically putting out fully produced comedy specials every few weeks or so, and they look as good as anything, in my opinion.
Sure. I mean, I think it's also I really believe in everyone's burden that's a creative to make the thing that's on their mind.
Yeah.
And I think that I look at it as I've seen people who are incredible painters, incredible at whatever their art is, and they lose a little bit of their time with second guessing themselves and trying to make it perfect or whatever.
Right.
When you have to remember, for people who don't draw at all, the drawing is amazing.
Right.
And maybe if you're doing it to try to impress people who draw like you, and you're trying to be a bit sharper, or like you're playing to the back of the room essentially, then yeah, I could see getting like a bit in your head to the point where you don't release. But I just don't think in a world of noise, anybody is going to be particularly critical of like your chatter to the point that you shouldn't put it out there.
I think that's very smart.
That's
great advice.
Yeah, I think because so much of what is made is bad in general.
Yeah.
That like you made a bad thing if you make a bad thing. Like I don't know until I know how the show went for the people there.
Yeah.
I don't know how it'll go for YouTube until I put it on YouTube. So I can't stress myself out too much about how it will be received on YouTube, because job number one, which was making the people who came to the show part of an experience and making sure they had a good time, is like done.
Right.
So it's like if you did job number one, then everything else is like extra. Everything else is like this extra blessing that you get. But at the same time, if I feel like whether I put stuff out or don't put stuff out, I don't know what general impact that has on the world.
Yeah.
But I do know that me not putting it out while feeling like it was a really good thing and not putting it out for some fear of some unknown is not going to serve anybody. It's not going to serve the people who inevitably, seemingly at least, wanted to see it because it you know, whatever video did well. Yeah. It's also not helping me because it's like letting me sort of live in this general fear of like what people might think, even though I already have some confirmation from the people who I did it for that they liked it. Right. So it would only be me letting a louder insecurity trump a reality that I've already witnessed. Right. And so then you just put stuff out and you get better and you put stuff out and you get better and then you build on that sort of confidence with a level of competence that you know what you're doing and you won't always get it right. I mean, I tell people all the time, like I think sometimes it's easy when people are on the way up to like look at them like a stock, right? Yeah. I think in industry, both audience and reps look at us as stocks. Yeah, for sure. And on the way, while a stock is up, it can only go up. You can only go up. You're going up and you're going to go up forever. Right. And then at the first sign of a dip, people are like, "Oh, I'm selling. I'm getting out. I'm done." And then you pop up again and they're the people who stuck with you who never sold were like, "Oh, yeah, it may go down a little bit, but it's always going to go up. It's going to be perfect all the time." Yeah. And so you see that like ebb and flow. That ebb and flow for us is like our work. The ebb and flow for everybody else is the results of our work. And the results of your work are not up to you. So like, I don't know how people will receive me 10 years from now. I don't know if anyone will still like me 10 years from now. But I know that if I stay on this path, I'll be making better work 10 years from now. If I stay focused on it, and it may not even be better by the standards of opinion, but I think it'll be better because I'll know what I've already done. I'll know the sort of pitfalls of doing that again. And I'll be making that sort of path for myself. And when you're creating from that place, like sometimes I wish I was, 5-10 years younger again, just to take what I know now, that old thing. Yeah. But I would not trade knowing what I know. I wouldn't just go into a time machine and go back 10 years ago and be, a little younger again without the knowledge of what I have now. Yeah. I would just make all the same mistakes or make worse ones or whatever. That's like a classic Attell joke. He's like, "I wish I could have sex with the person I lost my virginity to." I'd be like, look at me now. Look who's not crying. But like, I think what you're bringing up is like a really salient point for like a lot of people listening to the show, because a lot of times we get like questions like, how do you get an agent? How do you get a manager? And it's like, I think your point is really pertinent, which is it doesn't really matter, weirdly, because if your stock goes down, those people jump ship. I mean, like, what's crazy is that like, and I don't want to, look, I like my agents a lot, but also like if I weren't creating this podcast, creating my shows and creating my thing, like they wouldn't be getting back to me that much, if at all. Or worse, if you snap. If a person loses their mind, one thing that like, which never happens in show business. Yeah, right. Like one thing that reps are like mental health care providers. Exactly. So it's like if you snap and you go, if you go on some talk show and have an absolutely viral moment that is bad, that will not necessarily be covered by whatever relationships you already have. And who knows, maybe your stock goes down a little bit. Totally. But I think what it comes back to is like, to your analogy of the stock market, you're the company. Or you're the startup, actually, is probably the more apropos analogy of it. And you ultimately have to create. Yeah, you have to create all the time. For a lot of creatives who are getting started, sometimes just because of the landscape of what creation looks like now, they get set on a path that is a bit unfortunate, and it's a path that has like no joy in it. Yeah. Because the advice you'll get from someone who's like 4 years into comedy, if you just started comedy, will be like, all right, you gotta go up and you gotta do your open mics and stuff like that, but make sure you bring your camera. Totally. But anyone who's been doing stand-up for like more than 4 or 5 years knows that no one should know what your first year of comedy looked like at all.
I know.
Unless you're making a long-term project of like if you were making a project that was like that Ethan Hawke one.
Yeah, sure.
It's like
Boyhood.
Yeah, if you're making Boyhood and you're like, look, I believe in myself. I believe that I'm gonna make something of myself and make a living doing stand-up comedy. So I'm gonna document the entire thing to be an inspiration for people who haven't started yet.
Yeah.
Maybe people who aren't even born yet. I'm gonna record year 1 all the way to year 25, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm that certain I'm gonna stick with it that long. Now we're talking about something.
Yeah.
But if you're just trying to like go viral while also not having enough time to fulfill a contract when you do get booked somewhere, like there are places that are like, no, you didn't do your time, we're not paying you.
Right.
What are you talking about?
Right.
We hired you to do an hour and you did 25 minutes of rambling and then you left. Why would we pay you? What's wrong with you?
This sounds
and it's
specific,
like,
this example.
oh, luckily not me, but it is it's a true thing. If you want to get started with any art, you know, you get focused on what it is you want to make and what brings you joy about making it. And then if you like, obviously everyone's going to focus on the most successful versions of the people in their field. Yeah. Because that is what works and that is like what is great, at least in a from a popularity perspective.
Yeah.
I think though, I saw this really great take on it one time, which was when you start something, you are focused on the best in that field because those are your heroes.
Yeah.
So then you become incredibly critical of your work because you're comparing it to the work of like the greatest people.
Sure. Yeah.
So you're very down on yourself. Then you start to make better work.
Yeah.
And it may still not be equal to the work of your heroes, but it's about equal to the work of your peers that started when you started. Mm-hmm. Then you get even further along and you have potentially another dip because you're like, okay, now we're fighting with the comparison of like, my hero was 10 years into comedy when they made the special that made me want to do comedy. And now I'm 10 years in and it's like, what does that mean if I can't make my Sistine Chapel of comedy or whatever? Sure. And so then after that, if you get out of that third dip, which is like a really hard one because that happens when you're like a decade into something.
Sure.
You get past that dip and now you finally recognize that like all these heroes that you looked up to the entire time were just like people making work. And so then it doesn't like level yourself with them in your head, but it does create a bit of a safety net of understanding for yourself.
Yeah. Where
you can be like, oh, George Carlin, one of the GOATs, was also just a guy that had ideas that bombed sometimes.
Yeah.
And it took him a year to develop this joke that made me feel like comedy was the highest form of expression.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he was so brilliant, it just spilled out of his mouth and he was that good.
Yeah, yeah.
He was that good eventually. And so it's like that, if you can make it to that space, I think it's almost impossible to be there in your mind and not be making great work, even if that work isn't like greatly recognized.
I think that's a great point. When I'm watching your stuff, I'm like, I'm like, Josh is definitely in the running to be one of the GOATs, if not the GOAT, in comedy. I'm watching.
I feel like, man, if you could say that a decade from now and not right now, I feel like if you get
I'm not saying it now. I'm saying I see it.
I need you to shit on me because this is what happens though. This is what happens. People get excited. This is the stock that I'm talking about. People get excited and they're like, Nvidia is never coming down. It's never coming down. And then Trump is like 250% tariffs on aluminum, and now people are like, forget Nvidia.
Josh Johnson's at 4.5.
Yeah. It's like, oh no.
No. But I really see it because when I'm watching your stuff, I'm just like, you're, I think, more prolific than anyone working. And I think the proof is in the pudding. It's all on YouTube. And I think you're as funny as almost any comic I know. And so then if you become more prolific and as funny or funnier than everybody, then you are the best. That is the best.
Yeah, I think if everything stays the way that it is right now, I'll be in a good spot. Because right now, I feel like most of the people that I watch that I enjoy are like funnier than me. Mm-hmm. And most of the people that I watch and enjoy are better at they have a better level of like focus than I do.
By the way, in my algorithm showed up a video from you, which was Kendrick versus Drake explained to white people.
Yeah, yeah.
Why was it served to me?
I think that sometimes the algorithm doesn't know how down someone really is.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I keep telling all my black friends, and I have so many of them.
It has no idea how many people you've dapped up. It has no idea of the groups you've been jumped into.
Subtlety.
Yeah. I mean, Mike, one day our people.
Mike, one day. Oh God. Yeah, so I guess that's a great one.
Oh, thanks.
Kendrick Drake explained
to
white people.
It is.
And it does explain it, by the way. And I've read a lot. I'll listen to the daily episode about it, everything.
I mean,
and that was probably the best explanation.
Thank you. I could tell from you saying that you read a lot about it that I was like, oh man, there might have been some bits you were missing. You know what I mean?
You toured with Trevor Noah for a bunch of years. Did he ever give advice to you on stand-up or anything that was helpful?
Yeah. So he told me, like, whether it's the act out or whether it's like the point you're making or whether like no matter what it is, to always still bring that like that energy and that level of fun. Do you know what I mean? Like I think that sometimes if someone has a point to make, even if a joke is coming, and they seem they just seem like they're not joking, it's not going to be received well, even if the point is not the joke.
Yeah.
Like you may be making a bunch of points and then facilitating them through jokes to create an arc and bring everyone to an overall conclusion.
Yeah.
That happening still within that, in between jokes, you still have to remind people that they're at a show. You still have to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think it would be, I think it would be a misstep to be like, I'm gonna seem like we're not doing the show right now.
Well, you worked for The Daily Show as a writer before you were on camera for like 4 or 5 years? A bunch of years.
It was like, like 7 years as a writer.
Wow.
Yeah,
so you're the writer there, and you know that you'd be good on camera.
That's very kind.
You ever like, hey, so you know who'd be good at saying these words I wrote?
You know, I
Maybe
feel like
someone like, you know, like what?
Nah, I also feel like the timing has to work out, and I think that when you rush things, you can put yourself in a position that is like that's not necessarily for you to shine as much as like doing things at the right time.
Okay.
So I think that, for instance, I'll give you a great example. Like when it came to the Comedy Central half hour, I felt like I was ready for it the year before I got it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, understandably kind of upset because it was back when a different era, before clips, before all this, like before social kicked off in that way, that there were only so many opportunities and there were really distinct and structured funnels to make your way through to start getting a pass and start getting what felt like to the next level. So and this still happens. The internet has opened it up in a lot of people's minds. So like young creatives or new creatives can really sharpen whatever path they want towards whoever they want to be like or whatever they find interesting. But as recently as like 2015, you know, so like you just go back 10 years ago, there was a world where you get your JFL New Faces, you get your Comedy Central half hour, you do your late night, you do like all these things that almost seem like you can or you can't, like take it or leave it things, used to be everything.
Yeah.
You know, like the way that Chicago, the Facebook group would pop off when the JFL callbacks went out.
Oh yeah.
And just it was civil war for a week.
The dynamic of show business, and this brings us back to sort of what I think you're bringing to the table in an original way to comedy, is the dynamic of the comedy climbing the stairs of the comedy field right now has completely turned on its head.
Yeah,
It used
yeah.
to be you try to get new face, you try to work open mics, then you try to get new faces, then you try to get on a talk show. Now it's like, well, forget all that. I mean, it's like literally you could do open mics, you could Bo Burnham make shorts in your basement and they blow up. They could do what you do. They video every set and put on your best sets on YouTube, and then you blow up. It's like it's so upside down in I think the best way.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think that like when I look back at that half hour, I didn't get it the year that I really wanted it and that I really felt like I was, good enough for it or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was one of the first years where I had to accept, and don't get me wrong, looking back, I was only like maybe 3 or so years into comedy or whatever.
Wow.
So it's like, it was one of those things where I was like, I also had to take a step back and be like, once they came out, it changed everything. So the crop that I wanted to be a part of, the people who got the half hour that year, I watched all of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is very good. This is very good.
Yeah.
Jeez, this is very good.
Yeah.
And then it started to,
Who was in there? Like,
Drew Michael was in there.
Yeah.
Maybe Lisa Traeger was in there. But like I knew some New York people that got it, some Chicago people that got it and everything, LA people that got it. And I watched all of them. And there wasn't a single one where I was like, oh, this person, I feel like my set was like stronger than theirs or whatever. I felt like my set was really strong, but it was the first time I really accepted for myself this thing that people always tell you when you start out in something or when you're doing something, of how like subjective everything is, about how you can't take anything like you can't take things personally, and you can't expect people to like get you when you feel ready.
Yeah.
It's like everything happens in its time. So taking all that back to your question about like being on camera at Daily Show or not, I was like, that's a lesson I learned a long time ago that I've taken with me ever since then. Because I look back at that time and being like, okay, if I had got it when I wanted it, you can play coulda, shoulda, woulda, but like, would I have been kind of meh versus when I did get it, which was the next year, and I felt like I was like, oh man, this is it. This is and it was only better, and it was different as well. But it was like, I don't even know what happened to the jokes that were in the first tape. But like the tape that I made after that, I was like, this is it. And then I got it as well.
Yeah.
And then it went out, and then I got messaged by people saying like it was their favorite one, or saying whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think everything happens on time. And that's not just because I got it. There are some things I never got. And I'm like, fair enough. Like the crop that you picked for that were incredible people. So it's like the internet has opened people's minds up to the fact that like every path is not for you.
Yeah.
And you also don't want everything. Some things you just want because other people have them, and you don't know what to want next.
Or because at one time you wanted them, but you've changed actually.
Because that's what New Faces was for a lot of people. It's like you would think that New Faces was like you die and go to heaven, the way people got so mad if they didn't get a callback or if they didn't get it. Like people were ready to go to war. Like people wanted and in Chicago there's not that many industry opportunities at this time.
Yeah.
So New Faces was one of the only things coming through town.
Yeah.
And so people were ready to kill. And then you look back at it and you're like, all right, you go to Montreal for like anywhere from a week to 3 days.
Yeah.
You do 2 showcases. You hope people are there. If you already have an agent or a manager, you don't need it as much. And it's not what it was when they were doing JFL Aspen, where it's like people would leave with like development deals or, the stories that you hear, though that already wasn't happening by the time we hit
I feel like people
2012.
in show business would rather find out from you what you're doing than you find out what they're doing. That's how I feel, how sophisticated your operation is right now. Like they want to get 9 million views on their YouTube.
Sure. But that's what I mean. It's like, I think that if you don't know what to want next, you're just going to want what someone else has.
Yeah.
And if you do know what you want, then like everything else sort of like doesn't matter.
Well, when I look at you, I'm like, I don't even know what you want what you could want that you don't have. Like, is there anything that you're striving for, big picture?
Yeah, I mean, I want to have the best. Like these are all of my like most selfish like like things that are like all ego, right? Like basest ego. It's like I want to have the best catalog ever.
Yeah.
I want to be remembered as like the best writer ever.
The GOAT.
And then I want to be able to look back and be like, I made all of this art with all these different people as well. Like, you know, I have plans for like music to come out. I have plans for like all these other things that I want to be doing. And so I think it's really just like the ability to create. I want to have more of free flowing as well. So it's like with that's going to mean I need to have more capital or more collaborators. So there's definitely stuff that I want, but there's no like thing.
You have
like,
Timothy Chalamet-esque aspirations.
I guess so, yeah. Because it's like
Did you see the speech?
I saw some of it where he's like, "I'm chasing greatness."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I want to be like Kobe.
Yeah,
like that.
And it's like,
but I like that speech.
Yeah,
People
no,
make
I thought
jokes about it. I was like, no, I like that he's honest about it.
And it's also something you can only get for yourself as well. Because anything that I want that someone else has to give me, I'll be like chasing for the rest of my life, even after I get it. So like if you want, if I say I want a Grammy for best comedy album, right? There's no practical way to chase that thing within art. Mm-hmm. You're just going to keep making your art, and they're either going to give it to you or they won't give it to you. And then there's going to be people that are like, you didn't give them, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy, you didn't give them. But it's either going to happen or it's not going to happen because it's not up to you. So if you make your passion and the thing you're chasing winning a Grammy for best comedy album, but you know all of the politics and everything that goes into it as well, what are you doing?
Right.
Whereas if you keep making stuff that you feel like you could comfortably say, I think this could win, like when I look at who's in the category, I think this is as good as what's in there. And you just know that to yourself quietly as well. You're not even making noise about it. You're just like, I'm really proud of what I did. I think it's up there with all the people that are nominated. And maybe you get nominated, maybe you don't, maybe you win, maybe you don't. But like chasing greatness is like such a personal aspiration that you know on your deathbed that you did it or not.
Yeah.
Everything else is kind of like people have to give it to you.
Right.
You know, like even when people come to me and they're like, how do I write for late night? I really want to write for late night. I'm like, you could be the best writer in the world, but if you're not at the right place, the right time, and there aren't job openings, then it won't happen.
Yeah. This is called the slow round. Who are you jealous of?
Jealous of? Okay. There's some people have already heard this story, but there was a time where I ran into a guy at a party who was also named Josh Johnson. And he was gorgeous and he was much taller than me.
That's hard.
And at one point at the party, I'm pretty sure unprovoked, this dude was talking about like science, like he was talking about some theory and spinning a basketball. And I was like, I gotta kill him. I've never wanted anyone dead the way I want this dude dead. I was seething with it was Shakespearean the level that I hated this dude. This was that's some Globetrotter shit right there. And also it's not like he was talking about physics. He was talking about a totally different scientific theory while he was spinning the basketball because I guess he didn't have his mind on enough things at once. Right. And so I hated that dude. And he was like jacked as well, but not in a gross way. Because you know how some people are so jacked, it's like, oh, you went too far. And now women actually don't like it because you're like sculpted in a way that looks like steroidy, like your skin's all tight.
It was a steroid
he
level.
He was not that. He was draped just enough within his clothes that you knew he was jacked. Yep. Like a nice Oxford shirt, but he's like kind of busted out of it. And I was just like, why couldn't your name be Derek? Like, I need one of these things to not be happening. Like it. So very jealous of him.
Great. What's the best piece of advice someone's given you that you used?
to be as patient as you are persistent.
Yeah.
I think that with patience, you can get yourself to a place where it's okay if you don't do it today, or if you don't start, or if you don't, because things take time.
Yeah.
But then persistence can also make you impatient because you're just putting in the work every day, and that level of consistency should yield results, whether you're working out or you're working on your career or you're working on your relationship or something. But I think if you're equal parts persistent and patient, then
I like that.
That's like a recipe for success eventually, but you'll be ready for eventually because you're patient.
This is the working it out section where we talk through premises or ideas. I had one today, which was, and again, a lot of this is just half-baked stuff where I don't have a punchline yet. Our super came downstairs, and Jenny, my wife, had called the super, and because there were animals in the walls, and he got there, and I didn't know he was coming, and then I was like, let me put my wife on speaker. I put him on speaker. I go, Jen, what was the thing you were asking John Paul about? And she goes, there's animals above our bedroom. I go, okay, like in the ceiling? And she said, yeah. And then she goes, and there might be animals above Una's ceiling, or that was in my dream. And I was like, we can't really be on speakerphone with that kind of take.
Yeah. I think
you can say that to your husband, but you can't say that to the super.
Yeah. I mean, so do you think that in making the joke, are you trying to express one specific thing? Are you trying to express how comfortable y'all are with your super?
No. This is actually a good exercise. I'm trying to express that sometimes, occasionally, my wife, whom I love so much, will say something where I'm like, I thought we were on the same page that we would never say to a total stranger what might have happened in our dream.
Yeah. We got
to go with hard facts. We got the professional over.
Yeah.
We got to tell them where the animals are.
Yeah.
Or where the animals aren't. But or lie. Even just be like, there's animals everywhere.
Yeah.
But we can't be like, maybe in my dream.
I think there's something very funny about the idea that like there are things that are confined to a relationship that you would never imagine doing outside of it.
That's right.
For most people, it's sex.
Right. That's funny.
But for me,
that's a good angle.
For me, it's things that we know when said out loud should be secrets. And as much as I love my wife, she tells her secrets to people besides me.
This is really strong.
And it makes me as uncomfortable as if she just started making out with
secrets.
It's like,
of course.
It's like, no, not in front of him.
No, not in front of the super, not in front of Jean Paul.
This is one of the worst threesomes you can have.
Yeah, that's right.
Is sharing what might have been a dream, but is actually, because now he needs to hear it just so that we don't lose all credibility.
No, and I made eyes with him just kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, so...
You as the guy there have to now be like, this is the first time she's saying that dream part. Just so you know.
This is the first time she's saying that dream part.
Just so you know. Because
so good.
What I tell you right now, that I wouldn't have called you if I thought it was the dream.
This is the first time she said the dream part.
The first time she said the dream part. Look, if you, I want you to know, because now you completely separate from Jenny as Mike have to fight for your credibility.
Yeah, I know.
So now you have to stand there and be like, listen.
Yeah.
Look, I know we call you for all sorts of things. But if she had said that dream part earlier, I would have told her to go back to sleep, see if she hear it again. Right? And then while she was asleep, I would listen for it. I want you to know there's protocols before we call you. There's whole things that we're supposed to do. I just want you to know how
much I respect you. I respect what you do.
I want you to know that in our marriage, we have a contract. And that contract is, if something is a dream, we don't take it outside until we're sure.
We don't tell the strangers about the dreams.
Until we're positive.
Yeah.
Because when I tell you that if you leave here and I hear something in the wall or the ceiling, I'm just going to assume I'm in Inception.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know if I'm awake right now. Maybe we're both in my wife's dream.
And then the other thing I had on this run potentially is the other night my wife said to me, the pipes are going to freeze unless we shut off the water in the basement. Let's go down into the basement. And I was like, oh my God. And I go, okay, I'm ready to go down to the basement. And she goes, I'm afraid of the basement. And that's when I realized that let's go in the basement means I need you to go in the basement.
Yeah. I think
yeah, that's all I have.
I think she tells you let's go in the basement the way that you would like say to the police, like, let's go in the basement.
That's right.
It's like,
that's nice to bring it to the next.
This is wholly your thing.
That's right.
You know? And is she scared of the basement for a specific reason?
No, I think she has claustrophobia.
Mm-hmm.
I think generally like dark space, afraid of animals, bugs, etc.
It's also very funny if you have all those things. If you have, like, if she knows that you have all the things that make her scared of the basement, but she was like, oh, I meant you. When I said let's, I mean let you yourself.
I mean let you yourself.
That's what the contraction is.
That's what the contraction meant.
Yeah,
that's very funny.
And so then you go down there, because now I'm interested, as someone listening to you, what it's like for you down there. Not just knowing that you might be scared of some of the same things she's scared of, but also now that you have to be alone.
Yeah, paint a picture of that basement.
Yeah, because there's something very funny about her telling you, we need to go down to the basement, pipes are going to freeze. Oh, okay. The time in between you said the last thing, can you say that part again in the beginning?
Yeah, so she says, let's go down to the basement. And then I go, okay, I'm ready to go down to the basement. And she goes, I'm afraid of the basement.
So right there, when you're like, the time between she says it and then you say you're ready, I feel like that's a great time to insert everything that is like,
I'm feeling.
Everything that you're feeling because you don't want to go in the basement. Then you finally mustered up your courage and you've been betrayed, because it's like, I never meant to go down to the basement. That's
right. And then the payoff is stronger potentially.
Yeah, and then you go down there and then like something happens, something doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But then it's also very funny to me if you get back up from the basement after this hero's journey, this odyssey, to like let the water flow so the pipes don't burst. So you don't have to go down to a wet, dark basement, right? Yeah. And you get up there and she's asleep.
That's really funny.
So she wasn't even waiting for you. Like the way that Odysseus's wife was waiting for him to come back from this. You know what I mean? Like everyone thought he was dead, and she was like, "No, my man is coming back to me."
Yeah.
Right? And then
all of that basement mythology.
Your wife sent you down to the basement, and then was like, "You know what I could go for? A nap."
Yeah.
And then
And then I had this the other day. I was on a trip, and I had a creak in my neck. I had slept on it wrong. And I went to the gym, and they gave me at the hotel, they gave me a foam roller so I could roll out my neck and my back. I'm on the elevator, and this lady walks on. She goes, what's wrong? Because I had the foam roller. What's the foam roller for? It's a stranger. I go, oh, I have a little creak in my neck. And she goes, you want Oxy? I swear to God. I go, no. Like Oxycontin.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Yeah.
She goes, you have Oxy? I go, no. He goes, you want Oxy? I go, no. He goes, you have Oxy? And then we get to her floor. She walks out and she goes, I have Oxy. I was like, this is the craziest conversation. This is the craziest drug deal I've ever been in by accident.
Because it's the first drug deal I've ever heard where I can't tell if the deal is from or to.
That's great.
I've never heard someone offer me something, then ask me if I had the thing they were offering. Because that's a bad salesperson.
That's a bad salesperson.
But I'll pitch you this. I do think that in this scenario, the poor attempt at drug dealing was the only time somebody was really trying to help you, because the pillow obviously hurt you because you woke up with a crook in your neck.
Right.
The person at the gym, spa, whatever, also didn't help you because foam rollers hurt.
True.
And so the only person offering you relief is a stranger, in an elevator that's like, hey, you, and it's like, doesn't have the Oxy on them in the moment, because that's an amateur move. That's an amateur. Anybody who knows anything about drug dealing knows you don't deal the drugs and have the drugs on you. Well, if you're a cop, going up there being like, oh, my neck. Oh, no, I would love some illicit Oxy. You know what I mean? So this person has to be careful.
Yes.
And so now they're asking you, hey, Do you want oxy? You say no. All right, but that sometimes is code for not yet. Do you have oxy? No. Okay, so they definitely want oxy. All right, because if you don't have it, you must want it, and if you don't want it, you don't want it yet. And that is what we call like real business. Not taking no for an answer. Always be closing.
Yeah. Sure.
You know what I mean? And so I think that there is a thing too where if there's any point, like let's say this becomes a callback later on from another story where you're also staying in this hotel either again or later in your trip, that like you know what floor they got off at.
Right.
So now if you have any reason to go to that floor, you're probably going to pass their room.
Sure.
And even if you don't want oxy, you may need their help because they're the only person you know on that floor.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like now you have a friend in the hotel.
This actually makes me think it ties in a lot to this whole other run of jokes I have about my broken shoulder many years ago. So it could tie into that.
Yeah, because now you're not just gonna randomly get on oxy, right?
Yes.
But how often do you get an offer in an elevator while rolling your neck? There's a book called The Secret.
Yeah.
And sometimes, the law of attraction, you're sitting there rolling your neck.
Yeah.
And it's not that, by the way, the oxy at least works.
Yeah.
I've been told to roll things that hurt and then they just hurt more. And then maybe they got better, but I don't know if the rolling, the jury's still out for me on rolling and I'm no expert, but like that to me is like, we know oxy does something.
I think it was her way of saying, let's go in the basement.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you more afraid of the basement or her hotel room?
I think her hotel room.
Because her hotel room might have all the same aspects as the basement.
I would be completely terrified to go to a stranger's hotel room. I would be like, no, I'm fully out on this.
Yeah. I mean, a stranger's hotel room with oxy is it's a wonderland.
The last thing we do is called Working It Out for a Cause. Is there a nonprofit that you like to support?
Yeah, Feeding America.
Oh, Feeding America is great organization. We've given to them before. We will contribute to them again. We will link to them in the show notes. Josh Johnson, amazing to see you. And I don't know, future GOAT. You and Seinfeld, I feel like touring together, it's a little bit of a monopoly. I feel like the government should break it up.
Really?
You're taking comedy audiences, you're touring as a double bill.
Oh,
you're
that's
taking comedy audiences and there's nothing left for the rest of us.
Oh my gosh. That's, well, obviously you're being nice, but it is one of those things where Jerry had brought it up before the pandemic. He's like, why don't we do a couple shows together? And I'm like, yeah, sure.
On that tour, will you pick his brain about comedy?
Oh my gosh. That's all we'll talk about. Well, we meet up all the time and do a show and then we'll talk for 2 hours about stand-up.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And
because I think he is the guru.
Yeah, he's the sacred.
You opened for the Pope.
Yes.
And it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Because the Pope doesn't even come to America that often.
Right.
And so you open for him. You've been doing comedy for 30 years. You probably don't get nervous. You must have gotten nervous opening for the Pope.
Oh, I was terrified. I mean, because it was a no-win situation, right?
Right.
It was one of those things where nobody, there's reverence and then there's, it's kind of like the worst type of corporate.
Right.
It's just the audience does not want to hear comedy, but they also, there's no uniformity of expectation. So there's nuns.
Yes.
And then there's also teenagers that were dragged there. So you're either, you essentially alienate them all. So that was the goal. And it was Philadelphia's. And, the whole Northeast is just, there's just a hatred that runs through the Northeast.
That's hilarious.
Right?
Well, for sure. That's why there's so many comedians from the Northeast.
I think so. But I call the whole Acela line, I call it the corridor of hate. Because there's so much anger there.
You're dead on.
Philly.
Yeah, Philly, D.C.,
York,
Baltimore.
Boston.
Yeah, I know that line well.
It's all...
Yeah, the quiet car isn't quiet.
No. there's an anger there. But by the way, I also...
You telling me to be quiet?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the quiet car. Yeah, I'm not going to be quiet.
But I love it though.
It's so funny because you said that the opening for the Pope was like a corporate, because I do a lot of corporates and you do a lot of corporates because we don't curse a lot.
Yeah.
And so when the corporation wants to do an event, they're like, oh, these guys won't mess it up.
Right. They won't alienate the people. Because a lot of comedians, if you say, don't do this, their instinct is to do that.
Of course. Then, of course, I will do that. They always say that. The last thing you should tell a comedian to do is not do something.
Yes.
Because they will say that thing. They'll do that thing.
Yes.
But like, I always think of you when I'm at corporates because I'm like, Jim can work anywhere. Like, and I do well, but every once in a while, like I did one in Boston where it was like international business people from around the world. They didn't speak the same language. They probably spoke 10 different languages. Yeah. They didn't know each other. It was like a conference.
Yeah.
And I bombed. It was when I say it was silent in the room, it was as if the Buddha was there, he would have said, "Here is true peace." Yeah. And I got off stage and the guy running the event goes, and they usually try to dress it up. Yeah. He goes, "Does it usually go that badly?" Does it ever happen? Has it ever happened for you?
Oh yeah. After all the years you've done it, it still stings because you develop these tools to avoid those situations. But we're such whores for the money that we're like, all right, I'll go in there. Because I also
How bad could 1 hour be?
I did an event where it was in somewhere in Florida, and it was for it was like a millionaires club, like where people were and they're like all millionaires and they meet and they share ideas and business ideas. And there was the announcement, no videotaping, no photos before the show, and it was a bloodbath.
Laughter.
It was there was some laughter, but it was true combat. It was
they were coming at you.
There was just kind of heckling. There were videotaping. I would say, "Can you please not do that?" And they'd be like, "Oh, come on!" And then,
oh my God.
So it was like a prom show.
Oh, come on!
Do you know what I mean?
Just to give context to the audience, people would have no idea that a prom show even exists.
Yeah.
When Jim and I were starting out, I mean, early 2000s for me, in the 90s for you, we would go to Caroline's and they would book us at 2 or 3 in the morning, sometimes 4 in the morning, to perform for kids who needed to do activities after their senior prom.
So they wouldn't
be drinking. And then, of course, they would be drinking secretly.
Yes.
And then we would perform comedy and bomb. I mean, it would go terribly.
Yes.
And it would be people like you and me and you know, Ted Alexander and people who are great comics.
Yeah.
And are bombing in front of these high school kids.
Yeah, there's a lot. You know, it's interesting because they are similar to corporates. Like, it's almost like, I remember there was this thought where it's like, I want to do well on a corporate, but also if you do too well, like there are certain shows that, like,
it's like if you do too well on a roast, start to go like, am I even a good comedian?
Well, it's also like that. It's a different skill set, right? And there are great comedians that can do roasting thing, but like I view it as similar to crowd work. It's like, yeah, that's a great skill. There are people that are really good at it, but I don't think there's enough value in doing crowd work. I just don't. I don't see that. I'm too much of a obsessed with the writing and the rewriting.
Yeah,
and I can tell you are too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
completely
it's
obsessed.
Just like, it's like there's. I mean, that's really impressive that you can do the crowd work, but like prom shows, corporates, roasts and stuff like that. Which I've never really done a roast.
I've never done one. I only did one, years ago before Amazon became what it is.
Yeah.
There was a humor site called The Modern Humorist, and they asked me to roast Jeff Bezos.
Oh, wow.
And so I showed up, and Joe Birbiglia and I wrote jokes about Jeff Bezos.
Oh, wow.
And I stood there next to Jeff Bezos, and I mocked him for 15 minutes. And then it was written up in Wall Street Journal and stuff like that. And it was like it's the only roast I ever did.
If there is something about roasting,
and now he's the most powerful person in the world and could shrink me into a corn kernel if he wanted to.
It is fascinating how, because you get so deep into writing, and and having teenagers and all this, you realize like roasting is put down humor, right?
Yeah.
And there's something, look, it's funny. It's, all the diplomatic things I'm supposed to say, but it is put down humor. It is
All the diplomatic
it
things
is
I'm supposed to
eighth
say.
grade. It is kind of your mama's fat, right? And
That's the
whole
basis
thing
of all put down humor.
And-
your mom
and it's-
is blank.
It's also it's similar to crowd work, making fun of someone's shirt. And again, there are masters at it.
Yeah.
But it's in the end, it's as great as Don Rickles was. It was a little bit of the curmudgeon-y thing, right? It was kind of like the lovable mean guy, you know what I mean? And there's only one Don Rickles, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard to kind of be in that lane. Whereas, like, I think, other types of comedy, there's more pats out of it.
There was a roast joke that Tom Papa talked about on this podcast where John Mulaney roasted him by calling him Jim Gaffican't. And he said it was the meanest thing that anyone ever said to him because
Gaffican't?
Gaffican't. Tom, you're like Jim Gaffican't. And he said it hurt him so much. He's like, because we all revere Jim, and it's sort of, and I've always been in Jim's shadow in some way in my career, and like it hurts me. Like he's like, he said it 15 years ago.
Oh my God, that's so weird. Well, there's also something about the roasting thing. If you put it out, you got to take it. And there's part of me that I don't want to take it.
I don't want to take it either.
Do you know what I mean?
Not interested.
So, and so like, I don't have any. Again, it's like I enjoy them. And
What's the meanest burn anyone's had of you, even on or off stage?
Oh yeah, no. There's
When do people diss you and it like actually hurts your feelings?
Yeah, that's like really nice, Mike. What makes you feel horrible, Jim? I just want to put that out there so that all my
so people can do it.
all my Birbigliites,
So people can press that button on your head.
my Birbigliites.
Oh God.
There is.
I called them Birbig heads.
Birbig heads.
No, we don't use that.
That's so funny. It's weird. All right, here.
You don't have to say this, but you could say like, what does Jeannie say to be mean? What does your wife say to be mean? Because she's super funny.
It's like, look, we've been married 20 years, so it's like, it's so complex beyond that. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like, that has nothing, she knows to like cut right to the
Right.
bone.
She goes straight in there. Yeah, yeah.
It's why, and I've been trying to work on that. It's like when husbands have a fear of their wife, it doesn't mean they're weak. It just means that this person knows them so well. It's like,
I think about this all the time.
right? It's not an indictment of the spouse.
No.
It's really like you're dumb enough to be that vulnerable to this one person. It's
God.
like they're
That's such a deep statement.
They're the emotional bank. So like, yeah, you don't want to piss that person off. But
I think about this, well, because in my new hour, I'm talking so much about marriage.
Yeah.
Because I spend 90% of my life with my wife and daughter. Like, it's so much. So my observations are so much about relationships. But what you're describing is what I'm kind of kicking around in that sand, which is like, if you're not, like the similar thing, like if you're not afraid of your wife, like, I don't know what's going on.
yeah.
Or husband. If you're not a little bit afraid, because that person could just squash you emotionally without lifting a finger.
It's not about financial consequences or sleeping on the couch.
Yeah.
It's the knowledge that they have, and it's almost kind of like an emotional knowledge they have.
Yes.
Because particularly if you've been married to them for that long.
Yeah, for me, 15 years this week.
And if you're like in a relationship that long, you failed so dramatically.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And
We've
they've
all
had
failed
to
so much.
They've had to forgive you.
They've
Except
been
for
in the
me, I've
front
never-
row for
Yeah.
all of your failures.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they went like that and go, all right, stand up, right?
That's right. The joke I have that I'm working on, which is like, I feel so lucky to have found this person who understands me most in the world, and yet about once a week she'll stare at me while I'm doing some activity, and she'll go, "Well, what are you doing?" And then I'll explain whatever it is, and then she'll start laughing, not with me, just at me with no one. And then I'll say, "Why are you laughing?" She'll say, "No reason," and that's the end of the conversation. And that's the person who understands me most,
Yes.
which
yes.
is sometimes it's lonely.
Yeah. And by the way, you almost like, you fear your wife, but you also feel sorry for them. You're like, shit, you got to deal with me.
You deal with me.
You know what I mean?
It's huge.
Yeah.
Certainly as a comedian, because our whole thing is, and she's a comedian as well, and or comedy writer as well, and Jen's a poet, and so they share a lot in common with us. But you have to be married to someone who essentially for their profession scrutinizes things to a point of absurdity.
Yeah, and is embraces the contrarian view.
That's right.
And what people have to understand is that it's being married to a comedian is kind of like having a roommate that's a conspiracy theorist. Do you know what I mean? It's like you have to be the person that's like, did we land on the moon?
That's so
Did
funny.
we? And
that's exactly right.
That's entertaining for a while.
And for the audience.
But like, I don't know.
I had this joke about it recently where I didn't say early stage, but it's just like Jen goes like, sometimes I feel like you're not happy. I'm like, right. Like,
Yeah.
that's what you were into when we met.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah.
I go, but I'm funny about it. I go,
Yeah.
when I stop being funny about it, you can totally leave.
Yeah.
Because I think that's our strength as comics, right? Is like we can take what we believe is the reality of this scenario, which is like that life is challenging. There's no way around it, and we can. What our strength is we're able to make that somewhat funny.
Yeah.
And if we can't, I get it.
Yeah.
I get why someone would walk. In Dark Pale, you shot in Tampa, which is ridiculous.
Why is it ridiculous?
Well, it's a funny town. First of all, I have family in Tampa, and I love them, and I'm going to visit them. I think I haven't announced this, but it's in February, and like because I love them. But they used to live in Buffalo, and my joke about Tampa is it's the Buffalo of Florida.
See, but I feel like Tampa is the southern capital of the Midwest. It's everyone everyone from the East Coast goes to the East Coast.
You're
of
absolutely
Florida.
right. Okay. Now
And
I follow this.
Midwesterners and Canadians go to the West Coast of
You're absolutely right. You have a joke up front about Tampa, America's next great city. I forget what the exact joke is.
That is when I lived there, that was the big thing, that Tampa was America. I mean, this was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But Tampa was, they were building a mile of highway a day in Florida.
Wow.
It's just like, the population probably doubled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the past 40 years.
Do you always open with local jokes? Because like I was in Philadelphia a few weeks ago, and you ever feel like you go too far? Like I was in Philadelphia.
Oh, well, Philadelphia, you can't. You know what I mean? That's what the whole Pope thing was about.
I go, you guys. I go, we're in Philadelphia, the place where people go when it doesn't work out in New York. And
my gosh.
And it was like, what?
Philadelphia, incredible amount of pride. Incredible amount of pride. Like,
yes. You and I and Mulaney, a few months ago, we raised $1.5 million for Georgetown Scholarship
Isn't that
Program.
amazing?
So how much of that do you get to keep?
$1,004,500. No, none of it.
It's great though.
Yeah.
We raised a whole bunch of bucks.
Yeah.
And we'll plug it on here because it's the scholarship program for first generation college students.
Yeah.
And we've done it twice now.
Yes.
Never again.
No,
just kidding. We'll do it again.
Things where
it was draining.
It's so, well, everyone has these different things. And so you're trying to some of it is you're protecting the comedians from the bureaucracy that exists.
Yeah.
Where they're like, hey, can they all do this? Can they wear like a suit? And you're like, no.
Yes.
They are showing up.
We're nice folks.
We're nice
doing the
folks.
best we can.
Right? I'm wearing a blazer. I'm like an adult. I'm like
You
an
look
adult.
nice.
I'm like
You're
an
ready
adult.
for the corporate that is working it out.
I'm an adult. Like every now and then you'll see someone in a blazer and you're like, should I wear a blazer? Do you wear a blazer every now and then?
And now I do it for the talk shows and things, but I generally don't. I should. It has a slimming effect.
Right? But it's just
I need to enter the phase of my career where I'm really looking to win people over with my looks. When does that start?
I don't think that's that's not an opportunity for me, that's for sure. But like I do feel like there is some, like, I'm not gonna wear a tie, but like,
yes.
Like, did you ever debate like, should I wear jeans? Like, am I too old to wear jeans?
I think one of the wisest things I've ever heard is, as a comedian, don't wear shorts.
Oh yeah, well, shorts is
Deadly.
But Canadians, I feel like Canadians can wear shorts. Why is that?
So the special is called Dark Pale.
Yes.
It's darker material.
Yes.
Is that what you called that?
Yeah, I mean, some of
You talk
it
about death like a lot.
Yeah, and some of it is, it's all self-assignment, right? So it's like with each of your shows, you sit there and you go, all right, I'm going to do this. And I feel as though there are, for most comedians, and that's why I think podcasts are so entertaining for people, is that there is, forget about the uncensored thing, but I think there's darker sides to comedian. Like what comedians
Oh my God.
Laugh about is, different from what we... And so, like, some of it's embracing some of that nihilism or that cynicism that is inherently in me. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I say
yeah.
stuff at the Cellar that I would never put in a special. Like I followed Keith Robinson the other night, who's had 2 strokes and talks about it explicitly on stage, and he's brilliant. I mean, no one funnier than Keith Robinson. And I go on stage whenever I go after him, I go, did Keith do all my stroke material?
Yeah.
I go, we've all had a couple, but some of us just handle it better.
right.
And of course, the audience loves it. Because audiences like dark humor.
They do. They do.
But like, you have a joke where you go, when an anti-vax preacher dies, everyone's like, good.
Yeah.
And the audience goes crazy.
Yeah. And that was in Florida, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
And so there is, it is interesting, like doing some material and, hearing the laughs and hearing different types of laughs. Because I remember when I was doing Dark Pale, I have stuff where I talk about global warming and, and some of it is like, by the way, like I believe that there's global warming, but like, I don't understand it. It's a little bit like the stock market.
Right.
I'm like, I know that people make money in the stock market, but I'm pretending to understand it.
No,
I know
completely.
that I know Apple's a good thing to buy. but the point I'm getting to with the global warming material is the different laughs from different parts of the audience.
Yeah.
So and it can shift. Like there is part of me, like when I do the global warming material, where I can feel some people in the audience going, well, I don't believe in global warming, but I'll go along with your premise because I like you.
Yeah.
And there's also some people that are like, I can't believe we're not
Judging
dealing with the global warming thing. Like there is this, and it's. But by the way, to answer your question about what hurts me, what has ever burned me, is the thing about like when I went off on Trump and the Republican thing, there was Trump and Trump people and trolls, but like there was like a couple people that are like, Jim Gaffigan lost his entire audience because they're all dumb right wingers, and I'm like, no, they're not. You know, like the whole thing is like I felt like that kind of hurt my feelings, like because I do like, and I'm sure you're the same way. I like and I'm not saying I have the most diverse audience, but like I do like the fact that there is the lesbian couple sitting next to the Mormon family at my show. So like,
I love that. I love that.
You know what I mean?
I love that I have 12-year-olds and 100-year-olds in my audience. I love it.
I was going to say something very irreverent, but you love that for a different reason, Mike. That's
oh God, my God, Jesus Christ.
No, but I mainly because you like to have sex with 100-year-olds.
Oh my God!
But
this is the side of Jim Gaffigan.
No, but like so, like that. But that's I would say that's what was kind of
hurtful.
It's a generalization that, and maybe it hurt because there was a point where I was like, oh my God, what if everyone that came to my shows is a Trump supporter? And they weren't. But like there, and at the time it didn't matter, but it was kind of like, what if, because what you reap, you sow, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what you sow, you reap. And so like the whole thing of, and you've seen this with other comedians, like if you do really filthy stuff or you do stuff just about partying, that's who's coming.
That's your audience. That's Bert Kreischer's audience. The party.
That's the people that are coming.
Yeah.
Now, if you're fine with that, that's fine.
Yeah.
But, and that's why I think with every hour, I do try and challenge them, like Todd Glass is like, you always have some jokes to like weed people out.
Oh my God, you do.
You know what I mean? Kind of like, well, obviously, you know, and some of it might be as basic as like not being freaked out by gay people. You know what I mean? Like, there should be something of like, so if people are like truly homophobic, they're going to be like, oh, wait a minute. You know what I mean?
Right. This guy's not for me.
Yes.
And then you just self-weeded them out, basically.
Yes.
It's funny because you and I have this in common, which is I've been on the road for 20 years, seeing the whole, the whole country. You've been on the road for almost 30 years, probably, right? And it's like people do have a wild misconception on the coast of the middle of the country.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's really off. Like people say to me constantly, like, a middle of the country, those shows must be terrible. I'm like, no, they're really good.
I always think it's like odd when people on the coast have this flyover mentality. It's like, but you do know Chicago is
dead center in the middle of the country.
Is the third largest city, or maybe it's, but like it just seems kind of it's weird when people are like so against bigotry and then they attack it by introducing another form of bigotry.
It's very strange.
What a great guy I am.
I like this guy. Right. Not only does he have great observational humor.
He's also wearing a blazer. He's a grown-up Jim Gaffigan. He looks like he's showered.
Oh my God, I snorted. Oh, that's good that I snorted.
That is good.
You have one of the great opening lines, which is, "Hi, I'm Jim Gaffigan. I've never heard of me either."
Right.
And you probably can't do it anymore. You're really a household name.
Oh, no. I did that at like, I don't know, my second or third special. And then I did it at the Grammy Awards and it killed.
Are you kidding me?
I did it like 15 years later. I was like nervous and I was like, I've never heard, and it was like, because that's, talk about an audience. Like I wouldn't, let me ask you this, like hosting the Grammys, I would never want to do that.
No, people don't understand. I don't want to host anything. Gary here, who works on the show, he's been opening up a bunch of my Working It Out new material shows. And one of the things we always talk about is like, you got to have an opening joke. And the reason you need an opening joke is the audience doesn't know whether or not they're on your side yet. And that is like the perfect joke. I've never heard him either. The reason it's perfect, in my opinion, is I've never heard of me either. 6 words. Yeah. And you're on you've analyzed how they see you.
Yeah.
And then you've read their minds. Yeah. And then you've come up with 6 words that encapsulate that immediately. and they represent that you have a sense of humor and that you understand them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like so dense.
Yeah.
How many years did it take for you to come up with that? Were you like, I got to come up with an opening joke?
Well, I feel like with each of them, I was kind of trying to think of, like there's different, but when I do a special, then I'm like, all right, I got to find another way into this.
Yeah.
Where it kind of diffuses, because it's awkward, right? You're essentially, greeted with applause. And so how do you diffuse that and segue into the show?
Yeah.
Right? Because I do think that I want to get to work, and I also want them to know that I'm going to be doing jokes.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
But it is like there's different jokes in each of the specials that are kind of, like I think one of them I was like, oh, he's fatter than I thought he would be. You know what I mean? It's some of it is disarming the awkward moment, but also speaking for them, acknowledging self-awareness.
You've been in comedy 30 years. It's like you've changed as a comic.
Absolutely.
What's the biggest change you think in your comedy?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I would say it is so, like I went through periods where I was writing a lot with my wife.
Yeah.
And I would say that there's times when I would, and I'm sure this is probably the case with you, where I would, and now I sometimes go on stage and kind of riff on a topic.
Yeah.
And then, just the complexity of our family life has, when I first started dating my wife, I would do a spot. Either she would come with me, or after a spot, I would grab a bottle of wine and we would sit at home drinking wine, talking comedy.
Yeah.
And you just, like, the luxury of that is just gone.
Yeah.
And so now we're like trying to squeeze in conversations,
Yes. Your son does stand up? Started doing stand up?
He's toured with me. He's 17.
Oh my gosh.
And it's so amazing because he I don't know, have you done the Minnesota State Fair?
No.
You'll definitely do it.
Okay.
But it's like there's different state fairs, and you perform for like 13,000
Oh my
people
gosh, wow.
outside, and it's different states have different kind of fairs and all this, and so he's opened for, we've done a couple weeks, like a bus tour here and there. So
he performed in front of 13,000 people?
And he was like completely unfazed.
Unbelievable.
But it's also stylistically, preparation. Like, I'm all about preparation. I assume you are too, right?
I'm obsessed, yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm like, dude, you got to write out your beats.
Yeah.
You got to prepare. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And I'll come in the room, and he's like just looking at his phone. I'm like, there's like 3,000 people.
All right, this is called the slow round.
Okay.
This is a new one. What's your guilty pleasure food? Because you talk about it so much. But what's your one that's real and you actually eat it?
I mean, guilty pleasure in that it's like, it's just absolute garbage.
Yeah, like, come on. Like, you're still eating that? Like, are you still eating Hot Pockets? Like, for real?
No, I never ate Hot Pockets. That's the whole irony.
Wait, you never ate them for real?
No, I never. Well, I never said that I liked that. That's what's interesting is people, if you look at the Hot Pocket material, I mean, and again, I never said I liked them.
This is hilarious to me. You're famous for being the Hot Pocket person.
I made fun of them.
I know, you mocked them mercilessly.
Causing diarrhea and stuff like that. And people were like, oh, you
Double
love
snort,
Hot Pockets.
Second snort.
But I never really, but there's a lot of guilty pleasures.
Mine's Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Bad.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous food.
It's a ridiculous food.
Yeah.
But I my wife is from Wisconsin.
Oh yeah,
And
anything cheese.
so she's kind of a cheese snob, and I love this port wine cheddar, which is like essentially processed cheese. And she's like, don't eat that. Just get real cheddar. You like cheddar. You like cheese. Why are you getting that? And I'm like, I just like the tang of it.
Oh, that's how I feel about like the macaroni and cheese with the powder.
Oh, really?
I
Yeah.
like the powder cheese where it's like,
Yeah.
my joke,
It's a little tart.
I make the joke on stage. It's like it's not even cheese. It's like a press conference for cheese. Like cheese couldn't be here this afternoon.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank. I'm here on behalf of cheese. I'd like to thank butter. Milk was a big part of this. But I love that stuff.
Yeah.
It goes
It's
to
like
it goes to my childhood. What's a song that makes you cry?
Oh, I only like sad songs. My kids get so
real?
angry. They get so angry. Enough with these sad songs. My God. But I only like ballads.
What songs can you think of?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Here, let me.
Look on your Spotify or whatever.
But I have a lot of musical taste. I'm very insecure about my musical taste. So.
Perfect.
But here I have "The Call" by
Yeah.
Regina Spektor up here.
Oh yeah.
I have "Karma Police."
Oh yeah, Karma Police is a perfect example. It's such a crier. It's such an emotional song.
Yeah. But
Everything Radiohead puts you in that space, I feel like.
Yeah, I love but my kids get mad because they're bad songs and I listen to them. Well, they're not bad
songs.
They're just they're sad and they're kind of ballads like Louis Capaldi stuff. I like that stuff.
Yeah.
Who else do I like? Brandy Carlisle. I love Brandy Carlisle.
Yeah.
Like The Joke. That's a great song.
Yeah. Wait, who were we just talking about? You said Lady A. Oh, you know what gets me? Olivia Rodrigo's song "Driver's License."
Oh, really?
Gets me.
It's interesting.
Gets me.
I remember when
I saw it live at SNL when Keegan hosted. Michael Key hosted. It killed me.
If you hear the noise right now, it's people unsubscribing from this podcast.
That's so funny.
Because they're like, and it's not an insult to Olivia Rodrigo. It's the fact that like this wasn't recorded in 2021.
You and Seinfeld, I feel like touring together, it's a little bit of a monopoly. I feel like the government should break it up.
Really?
You're taking comedy audiences. You're touring as a double bill.
Oh,
You're
that's
taking comedy audiences and there's nothing left for the rest of us.
Oh my gosh. That's well, obviously you're being nice, but it is one of those things where Jerry had brought it up before the pandemic. He's like, why don't we do a couple shows together? And I'm like, yeah, sure.
On that tour, will you pick his brain about comedy?
Oh my gosh, that's all we'll talk about. Well, we meet up all the time and do a show, and then we'll talk for 2 hours about stand-up.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and
because I think he is the guru.
Yeah, he's the Socrates of comedy.
He is,
and he
knows the most.
And he's an absolutist. Like he's one of those guys that he also removes some emotions that would get in the way. Like he doesn't gossip. He's all about like, it's either funny or it's not. Yeah. It's just jokes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's not, I mean, he's human. He has opinions on things.
He also said a thing famously once. Yeah. I think about his stuff all the time. He said, if a joke works once, it can work forever.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, isn't that an interesting concept?
Yeah.
He also says, to put it in an acting perspective, that the audience is your scene partner, which I think is true.
Oh, that's brilliant.
He's got so much wisdom.
Yeah. And some of it is, it's really fun talking about some of the philosophies on things, and he'll have a strong opinion on something, and some of it is stuff that we as comedians kind of mill around an idea, and he'll kind of look. That's why I call him an absolutist. He'll be like he views, this. It's one thing to do one Broadway show. That's really cool. Yeah. But like the fact that you've done multiple
Yeah.
is the impressive thing. So like one of the things he says is he's like, oh, you know, someone will be ask him about something, he'll be like, and he's not being dismissive of the person, but he's like, all right, in 5 years, who's doing this in 5 years?
Yeah.
Who's and some of it is, and because I think that comedy is, you have to evolve.
Who's doing this in 5 years? That's powerful.
Right.
I wrote this one this morning, which is, you know, I have a daughter, and eventually we're going to have a sex talk, which is, you know, I'm dreading. But so I
With your wife or?
No, no, that's my joke was. So I pitched to my wife that she and I should have sex and do a Q&A, because I have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
That's all I have. It's called Sex Talk with Q&A.
Right. That's funny.
That's fun, right?
But it is like, it is, you know, the weird, you know, the sex thing. It's once you bring up sex and you enter the kid thing, then it's,
oh, I know.
It's really, it's just, you don't want to get icky.
Oh,
right?
I know. I said a joke on stage the other night that I don't think I'll do again, but it was funny in the moment. I go, I love my daughter. I hate her friends.
Yeah.
I go, when I they're insufferable. I go, when I'm with her friends, I'm like, I'm like, now I really don't understand pedophilia.
No, see, but like,
and I'm not going to do that again. It won't be in the next hour.
That's one of those things where among comedians,
that's a very comedians with comedians joke.
We love the darkness of it because we also, you know, we know that like that is some of the humor is that it's antithetical to your values,
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, the general populace would be like, you're being dismissive of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
But it's weird because you and I have this in common, which is Ira Glass called me out on this podcast. He's like, you're so calm on stage, and in life you're not calm. You're intense and you're anxious and you're this. I know. I go, but it's honest. When I'm on stage, I'm actually more calm than I am off stage.
Yeah. No, there is something interesting also. I think there's also something, there's biases we all kind of carry around with us.
Yeah.
And I think because people look at us, you and me, and they don't think nudge.
What's nudge?
Nudge is kind of like somebody who's just kind of driven.
Oh, right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's it's like here. I think it's like a Yiddish term and stuff like that. But it's because the perception is that we're not like that.
Yeah.
And our personalities are not like that we probably get away with more. It's kind of like the equivalent of someone being really tall and people assuming they'd be good at basketball.
Right.
It's just this, it's in some ways a harmless bias.
Right.
But
you're like a person who your act, I mean, you've made it 10 comedy specials. You're one of the few people on the planet who's made 10 comedy specials. And you talk about being lazy.
Right.
Like, you're not lazy. Come on.
But some of it is, there are moments of it, right? There are moments where we engage in like...
Right, you're not being dishonest. You have the feeling sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. And there's, compared to my wife, I am very lazy.
Oh, that's interesting.
Do you know what I mean? And, when I go to a parent-teacher conference, I do need a vacation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like... It's just brutal. It's just like walking in schools. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe you guys have to come here every day.
This is a fun. This I think you'll relate to. Is it's so absurd. I was on the subway heading to the cellar to work on material, and I'm carrying like these note cards, and they all have jokes on them.
Yeah.
And I'm memorizing them. And this woman next to me goes, "Hey, are you a comedian?" And I go, "Yeah." I go, I'm working on my notes, and we both look down, and the note card says, "Remembering porn." And then neither of us speak for the rest of the subway ride. And then I exit the train, and we never speak again. It was, the silence was so deafening, I'm still deaf.
Well, by the way, that whole thing is like, and that's what, I don't know what your new show is about, but that's part of I think that's a slice of it. that you get into that.
What's the slice of it?
Porn.
Did I tell them? Right, did I weigh in? So then here's the joke.
You sit there, and that's like a juicy part where you sit there and you go, "We're gonna save that, even if the porn joke doesn't work."
Interesting. Yes, like you use as a tease early in the set, and then you come to the joke later. Because there is something
about like it's a little bit of that. What I should have said.
Yes, it's a little. What I should have said was nothing. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Do you have any bits that you're throwing on stage right now that are like new?
I mean, I've been kind of, I was working on this movie, so I haven't been obsessing. But like, there is a joke that yesterday I was telling someone, and they were like, "That's funny," which was about how, and again, it might not be anything, but like how Pat Sajak is retiring.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you really call it retiring from hosting Wheel of Fortune? Like, it's like, even if after he takes like 2 weeks off,
yeah,
is he like, I tell you, I gotta get my mind back in it. First of all, I gotta do, I definitely forget which letters are vowels.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I have to go through that.
That's funny.
I just think it's so interesting because obviously Pat Sajak, it's great that, we associate him with Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
Is there like, no one's going to be able to.
I gotta remind myself, what's a person, what's a place, what's a thing.
You know what I mean? And it's like, was he the luckiest man in entertainment in history, or is there, maybe I'm not looking at it, maybe there is something really unique that he does besides it's your turn.
I wrote this joke recently about how my daughter's 8. You met her on the way, and she's like the greatest, and it's the cutest age, but in my mind I can't not leap to when she's 16 and she's gonna be like, my dad is garbage. And like, because when I was a kid, my dad didn't have to deal with that because when I was younger, grown-ups disregarded children. Yeah. Like, we used to say that, and my dad would be like, "Is someone talking?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now she'll be like, "My dad's garbage," and I'm gonna have to be like, "She's so brave." I totally agree with her.
Yeah.
That's such a great point. She's saying it so well. Someone needed to say it.
No, but I think it's also. You don't know.
What do you mean?
That's the thing. I believe that that's not predestined.
Oh, interesting. So did you deal with that with any of your kids?
Well, my oldest, not really embarrassed of me. My son, and then my next daughter, can you act like you don't know me?
Oh my God.
So it's.
Can you act like you don't know me? It's so great.
Right? But like, and in front of kids that I've met before.
Yeah.
And so, but I don't think that like that
this is the most petty version of Jim Gaffigan I've ever seen.
But like,
in front of kids I've met. So the final thing we do is working out for a cause. And I think we should give to Georgetown Scholarship Program.
Yes.
And then we should link to them in the show notes since we raised a ton of money for them. And it's such a good organization. Yeah.
I mean, it is like, it helps a certain school, but there is something about, the inequality, it's just making some steps.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I don't know. What are the answers, Tom? What are the answers?
We have the answers. I'm Mike.
Mike, okay.
I go by Mike currently.
Birbiglia.
Jim, congrats on the special.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming by the studio.
So fun.
And this is I'm excited for people to see Dark Pale. So good.
Thanks so much.
So
appreciate it. Thank you.
And all right, we'll wrap
that was the perfect ending.
Yeah, it's a great ending.
This is the ending where people are like, wait, they ended it?
Your stuff is so wild. Like, it's so avant-garde, so strange. It's like, How do you know something works, and how do you know you're like, that's it?
I mean, I have to find it funny.
Yeah.
You know, I have to find or be like fixated on the idea in a sincere way. Like it can't be kind of reverse engineered. You know, it's like it has to be something that I genuinely find funny. But then it also has to have this kind of like ring of like, and this feels so pretentious, but like for lack of a less pretentious word, poetry.
What I'm getting is you're a poet.
No.
Your words. I'm gonna echo back what I'm hearing.
No, this is the lead clip.
I'm gonna echo back what I'm hearing. I'm a poet. I'm a singer. I'm a poet. I'm an artist. But I'm also a man.
Oh no.
That's what I'm
With
hearing.
needs.
When I was first introduced to you personally, it was because you and I both worked on Jacqueline Novak's show.
Yes.
I was like behind the scenes a little bit early on, and then you directed the show beautifully.
Thank you.
Get on your knees. And it was like beautifully directed. And Jacqueline, I remember being like, her way of describing you is, John is very serious about craft.
You wouldn't tell. You couldn't tell.
So I love your special. One of my favorite parts of the special is the multiple times that you put a spotlight on your parents. One of the times you say, I love anal or something.
Yeah.
And then you go hard spotlight on your parents. How much do they know and how much don't they know?
I mean, there was like this beautiful moment in 2015, maybe 2016, when I did that to them for the first time. And they had no idea
This
what was
beautiful moment.
They were truly like, I knew where their tickets were. It was at Joe's Pub, and we had the most like clean shaft of white light on them. And they were totally shocked. And it was like the most transcendent moment of my life. And
They must love your comedy then.
they do.
Okay.
They do. It's really, really cool. It's really sweet. My parents were ministers
Yes.
and Presbyterian ministers, and then I kept doing that to them like once a year, like at the Bell House and stuff. And so they knew it was coming, but I do think just like the cameras, the energy in the crowd, it being a taping, like their response, like them hunching over is like completely genuine, you know? And I think it was a thrill for them. I would like to think it was.
Aw.
It might also be considered elder abuse in some circles, but they love it.
Did you come up Presbyterian?
Yeah, I went to Presbyterian church every Sunday till I was 18 years old. I went to this place and did like youth conferences, and I sang the songs.
Yeah.
That was like the most meaningful thing for me. And by meaningful, I just mean I loved singing.
Aw.
Like it wasn't like the only thing I remember from church.
That's how they
is
get you, by the way.
Literally. I'm not kidding. It's like sensual pleasures like singing. But I stood next to my mom and she like harmonized. She was such an incredible like, alto. And that honestly is why I like music. It's like from church.
You and Beyonce.
Yes. Well, we have that in common.
Oh, and also your Instagram handle.
Yes.
Beyonce.
Yes.
No, but it's like,
Houston is similar to Nashville.
is it?
Yeah, I do feel actually a kinship with Beyonce, and like there's like it's kind. Sorry to people who love Houston and Nashville, but they're kind of like soulless cities.
Oh, wow.
You know?
Shots fired.
Yeah, sorry.
On two cities.
Like there are obviously great things about both, but like they're a little like corporate.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's in me and Beyonce, like high achieving, like type A.
That's in me and Beyonce.
Yeah.
People always say that about you and
Yeah,
Beyonce.
always say. But I feel like Beyonce and I are both Tracy Flicks.
Oh,
You know,
interesting.
Like I really
And you're looking at another one.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you have, on your Instagram, you have this video of you on local Nashville television and being asked about sex when you were like, I don't know, 14, 15. Yeah. And your answer, 14-year-old John Early is so earnest. And when I watched that, I'm like, that's the kid you're making fun of now on stage.
Yes, exactly.
How much are you doing an impression like of that kid?
I mean, he's like, the reason that video is so funny and is also like literally still so painful for me to watch, even though I put it online, you know, it's like, it is, seeing myself trying to be such like a good little student, you know, and a good little boy is like so heartbreaking.
That's
to
the
me.
Tracy flick. Yeah.
And I think that so much of the thing I'm doing on stage, some would argue too much, but so much of the thing, especially in the special, is, and especially with my parents, and being like kind of like, you know, fuck you, you know, like just being a little angry adolescent, like it is this very delayed rebellion. Yeah, because I mean, there's video proof in that news clip. It's like that I was not, I was completely buttoned up, and you know.
Yeah, so was I. I was just full rule follower, student government.
I mean, I remember telling, like, when my friends would like want to like try drinking, I'd be like, we don't need that. I'd be like, we love pop culture. We love watching movies. Like, I don't need that. Oh my God. Like, it was like, you know, and thank God in some ways, but I'm also
thank God
like,
for God is the operative word. Thank you for
clearly. I keep bringing it back, but yeah.
But yeah. In some ways, it's like you're so earnest as a kid, and we have video proof of it. And then at a certain point, was there an inflection point where you're like, I'm going fully ironic, and I'm going the other way with it?
Definitely. I mean, that's once I started doing comedy, it just was this opportunity to kind of correct the course a little bit. But I have to say, like, the reason why this special is particularly special to me, I think it is because there was like finally a synthesis of like the incredibly earnest part of me, and then the little bitch, you know,
the
little punk who needs to, and that is. And
a singer.
Yeah, which
beautiful
is the incredibly
singer.
earnest part of it.
Yeah.
The song choices help kind of cut through that, but like the singing itself is earnest, and it is just about wanting people to have a good time or wanting to move people in some way, you know. And like I've never filmed it because I was embarrassed by that desire.
This is a weird thing to say about a comedy special. I feel good afterwards.
Totally. I mean, if that's the goal of also ending with I Feel Love. It's like, just like I wanted people to feel like they were like leaving a party or like the party was still going on, you know. And that's also why Bette Midler and Sandra Bernhard are like they're like my primary live performance influences, is because of their relationship to music, especially. And like they don't do comedy songs. They just kind of like, they'll be wild and hilarious, and then they just click into a totally sincere song, which is kind of old school.
Your stand-up, like my stand-up is very, in a certain way, straightforward, in the sense that I go to clubs, I try out 10 jokes, and I sandwich them in between 5 minutes that work at the front, 5 minutes that work in the back. And then eventually I have new jokes. And then I formulate those jokes into a thing. Yeah. Your stuff is so wild. Like, it's so avant-garde, so strange. It's like, how do you know something works, and how do you know you're like, that's it?
Well, you know, I guess in the kind of traditional sense, like I did go on tour before this, and it was very clear very quickly what worked and what didn't based on people's responses. But I also think just internally there does have to be a feeling of like, I mean, I have to find it funny. Yeah. You know, I have to find or be like fixated on the idea in a sincere way. Like it can't be kind of reverse engineered. You know, it's like it has to be something that I genuinely find funny. But then it also has to have this kind of like ring of like, and this feels so pretentious, but like, for lack of a less pretentious word, poetry. Like a little bit of like
oh.
Who are you even looking at?
Looking at the wall.
But like it did have a kind of like I was trying to sincerely underneath the silliness say something, communicate a kind of like despair. about the state of the world, knowing that it was maybe a little abstract, but there was like something very sincere underneath it, and feeling that people were, that I didn't have to explain it, that I could just kind of like drop it and people understood what was underneath it, and that part of the joy of it and what was funny was that it was abstract, and I was just going like, you know, like it's very vague what I'm saying, but that was
what I'm getting is you're a poet.
No.
Your words. I'm gonna echo back what I'm hearing.
No, this is the lead clip.
I'm gonna echo back what I'm hearing. I'm a poet. I'm a singer. I'm a poet. I'm an artist. But I'm also a man.
Oh no.
That's what I'm
With
hearing.
needs.
That was in my sexual prime in Brooklyn in my 20s. Which is one of the lines from the show that I love. I wasted my sexual prime here.
It's so real.
It's absurd.
It's so incredibly
That's a very
real.
confessional moment in the special, I think, because it's like a thrown away ironic line, but like there is a sense under it that like, oh yeah, he probably feels that way a little bit.
Oh, it's literally how I feel when I walk onto the stage. I'm like, what did I do? I'm looking out, and I'm like, and I have fans, like people like me, and I like didn't have sex.
Gosh.
Like,
oh my god, that's so funny.
Yeah,
You're still in your sexual prime.
Thank
You're
you.
a young guy. You're a young looking, good looking guy.
Yeah, thank you.
But don't do that thing that you just did. That's not sort of codifying
Got
it.
it.
Do you know what I mean by
That's
that?
what. Yeah.
So
it's
let's
pushing people
So
away.
let's do it again. We'll do it again. So you're a sexy young man.
Thank you.
That's one of the things about. That's one of the things about when you and I were in that video together is.
Just want to get it on record.
You're just a deeply hilarious person. When you and Kate were working on your sketch show, which was nominated for an Emmy.
Oh,
wait, did we get that? Did we get that?
We got it.
Okay. That must have felt good, right?
It was insane. It's so crazy. I can't believe it.
That special's a riot. But when you're working with Kate, like, do you break each other?
Yeah.
To a point where it's like, come on, we got to make our day. We got to get these things filmed.
And I'm worse about it than Kate. Like, she is really, like, it's part of her genius, or it's like part of what helps her keep going. I mean, she's just like, she's so committed, and it's so real.
Yeah.
And like, in order to achieve that level of realism, I feel like you have to fully do it. Whereas I'm like always on the edge of like laughing.
So you're a poet. She's a genius. And then
I can say that without any embarrassment. She's a genius.
She is.
But yeah, I laugh. I really have trouble. It's impossible with her.
What are you gonna do? Like? This wasn't one of our questions, but it's like, what are you gonna do? I want to see more of shows like the special. Are you gonna tour with more of this?
Yes. I mean, that was the thing is like touring that show, and I wonder. I mean, you tour all the time.
Yeah.
But like, I really barely do it, and like, I was like so maudlin after those shows. I would like go home and like call Kate or something, you know, and I would be like bursting into tears. I was like, this is like the most incredible experience I've ever had in my life. I was like, and I'm sure I'll lose that, you know, as you go on, but I really was like, this is heaven. If no one ever wants to put me in anything, like, again, like, I would be so happy doing this. This is like a dream. So I really, really would. And I feel like I figured something out with the music and the comedy and like integrating them more. And I want to keep going with that.
Yeah, because I think like I get that, because I feel like you're giving people a completely original performance that isn't. It's like how you felt about Bette Midler.
Thank you. That's the goal.
I think they are experiencing that.
I hope.
I think they're like, we just saw. Sometimes Jenny, my wife, will say this to me. She'll listen to the audio recording of like me doing shows in DC, and she'll go, you know, you shouldn't make so many jokes at your own expense that you're working out new material, because it is a special experience for the audience. So if you start to say that it might take a little bit away.
Yeah.
And the fact that you are giving it your heart.
Yeah.
They're jokes that the show that you're doing is unlike any other performance night ever again. And that, the couple hundred people in that room are the only people who will experience that.
That's a really good point. Yeah. I'm the same way though. I'm like, I have to let people know like it's messy or an improv process or something, and like, but it's like when you see after show's over and you see someone and they're like, that was so great. And you're like, it wasn't, like last night was incredible.
Yes.
You're like, last night like was like, the audience was insane. And it's like, fuck you. I bought tickets to your show.
Totally.
Yeah.
When you and Kate came to the Old Man in the Pool and came backstage, I was so moved by it, but I was also like, I was nervous that you're in the audience because I'm just like, I have that thing of like when people I admire in the audience, I think about it the whole time.
I know I completely understand, and I don't know what anyone's supposed to do because it's like you want people to come, and then you're like, great, now I'm
performing, for this person who I admire so much.
That was so cool seeing you at Lincoln Center.
Oh, thanks. When you sing Britney in the special, you make the joke, you go shout out any Britney song, and then you go, I heard album 3 track 3. It's like such a joyous thing, and then you sing album 3 track 3. Britney, do you know the other songs? Do you know 10 Britney songs?
Yes, because she has 10 singles at least. Like I was never like an album Britney stan, but I was very into her as a phenomenon, and so I was very, I subscribed to Entertainment Weekly.
Yeah.
Like as a middle schooler, like that was my idea. I asked my parents. So I was like, again, this is the Tracy flick. I like knew the box office. I was like, Wild Wild West did not do that. I knew the letter score that they gave every movie.
Oh my gosh. Do people ever, when you were touring it, because obviously you got the rights to that Britney song.
Yeah.
When you were touring, did you ever do any of the other songs?
No, because we only prepared Overprotected.
Oh, you did?
Well, so with that band, we've done probably over the years like 8 Britney covers, but none that we would be ready to just do on a moment's notice. We have to really rehearse. And like, so Overprotected was the choice. I had gotten the rights and that was what we were going with. And the joke was just going to be, I will stand here until someone organically suggests Overprotected.
So funny.
And sometimes it really like, it never happened quickly. So but sometimes it really just like would not happen. and I would have to like coerce it in other weird ways, like, which was always so fun. Once people understood what the joke was.
So we were in Taylor's video.
Yes.
You and I have this thing in common, which is not only were we in the video, we get asked about it, I think.
Yeah.
In every interview.
Well, in every family function now.
It's a lot because we're a very small part,
truly,
of a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard for us.
It's been hard.
How'd she know you? Did she know you from Search Party or like how? Or was that,
yes.
Yeah. And then did she just text you?
Via Jack Antonoff.
Yeah.
Who I of course know through Jacqueline.
Yeah.
And you. But like, yeah, just got a text from Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Same.
Like, as I was like on my back after like a surgery, and I was like, this is crazy. And of course, like the responsible thing to do would have been to say no because of my back. But I was like, I have to do it.
This is how bizarre that shooting that video was. I texted you and I said just like, hey, all right, because that was, I knew like it was a secret.
Right.
And I didn't know who knew they were involved and who didn't.
Yes.
And so
I think I knew.
Yeah, I didn't want to ask anybody because you don't want to bother these people who are all like major moguls.
Yeah.
And so you just go, I'll show up on the day.
Yeah.
But I texted you like, hey, are you doing anything secret like July 19th or whatever it was? Yeah. And you're like, I might be, yes, you know. And it was just like very cryptic.
I know, it was so top secret. That was the coolest part about it, was like getting there and the call sheet said something different.
Yes.
You know, it was like for a different video, like
different
Taylor's
video.
version or something, even though it was actually the new single.
Yes.
And that was really cool.
I thought what was really cool on set was, because she directed it, was, first of all, the script was really funny, I thought.
I know.
Immediately, I was like, oh, this is hilarious. And then second of all, I was like, she's really good at directing us and also the background actors.
I know.
Like, just
and like
extraordinary.
so calm and
yeah,
breezy. It was like so nice.
I feel comfortable talking about it with you here because it's a thing that we share, but like I try to avoid it in like every interview because it could be cut up and decontextualized. And I'm just like,
Well, I didn't. Yeah, I've already experienced that where I like told a story on a podcast on Mike. No, sorry, your Mike.
Yes,
on
I'm
Moshe
Mike.
and Natasha's podcast, and where they were asking me about it, and I told this story, which I think is so funny, which is like where the joke. I'm trying to talk about my own just like deeply embarrassing moment where she was talking to me about like. I think because I asked her, I was like, "Are you releasing this as a single?" Like, I was like, "Is this the lead single?" I think is what I said. And she was like, "Well, you know, the music industry's changed a lot. They don't really do like lead singles anymore. They kind of like post like Beyonce dropping that album with all the videos at the same time. It's like kind of like you like do it all at once now, or you do a bunch of things at once, you know." And she's telling me this, and I found myself going, I was like, we gotta get back to that time. I was like, I missed that. And I meant it completely.
Of course.
I really was like, I miss, like I'm talking about the Britney, like the Entertainment Weekly of it all. Like I miss witnessing the narrative, the press narrative, the drama of here's the first single, first video, and then a few months later you get the next one. Like and then it's sustained.
Yes.
You get like a year of like 4 videos. Yeah. And it's just so much easier to kind of take in instead of like everything at once, you know, whatever. So but I meant it, and I was like make this the first single. I was like, that's genius. I was like, that's genius. And then I realized, I was like, I'm talking about the video that I'm in. Yeah. Like it's so transparent. Like it looks like I'm just like, yeah, make this one the first single. Like because I'm in the video. Like it, and I was like, oh no. Like I felt so embarrassed afterward. I mean, she probably didn't think I was doing that, but I was like mortified. But then like I told this story, and this is what happened again, but I told this story on their podcast, and then because people are, this is what I didn't realize, is like it's like there's an army of people,
full-time job.
It's either actually their full-time job or it's fans who
they've decided
are unpaid.
it's their unpaid full-time
and are
full-timers.
Just like combing through everything that's said by anyone ever. Yeah. And they're looking for any mention of Taylor, and they're like, you know, and then there were literally multiple articles that are like, John Early convinces Taylor Swift to make Antihero her first single.
No way.
And I was like,
no way. It said John Early convinces her?
Yes, like as if it was John Early's idea.
What a nightmare.
And I was like, she's gonna see that, or her press people are gonna see that and be like, that asshole, like going around telling people it was my idea to make it the lead single, which it's of course was not the point of the story. The point of the story is that I was like,
did you reach out and say, hey, just so you know this thing?
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. I thought it was best to stay out of it.
So this is called the slow round. So do you have a nickname from your life that was really good or really bad?
Well, the good one is Beyonce, which is stop.
Yes.
No, you know. The bad one is one that in 6th grade I tried to tell everyone to call me Bo, because my middle name is Bowman. I'm sorry, that was in 6th grade? 6th grade, I was like, call me Bo. And not one person. It never caught on. So that was bad.
Call me Bo. Nothing.
It's just Bo.
Because it's your middle name?
Yeah.
B-E-A-U?
B-O.
B-O?
Yeah.
Jumbo early. Does anyone call
Jumbo.
Jumbo?
I love actually Johnny. I love when people call me Johnny. It's like, it's so sweet to me.
Can you think of a time where you were so scared you ran away?
Oh my God. Literally, yeah. I remember when I came out, or sort of, my friend, the first person I came out to was like my best friend in middle school, and she was like, I wasn't coming out to her. She was like, we were like talking, and I thought I was being coded. Like I was like, because I wasn't ready at all. I had no intention, and I was like, but I thought this was coded. So I was like, when you've told someone something like your whole life, I was like, but then you realize that's not true. And she was like, yeah. and then I was like, but then you realize it's not true. And then you have to tell them, but you're worried because they think the original thing. And and I literally was like, and she was like, yeah. And she was like, are you? And then I literally went, like Roadrunner. I fully was like, and I ran
my God.
to the bathroom, like at our school. We were at school, and I like ran, and I like closed myself in the bathroom, and then like I was like, oh my god, and she was like banging on the door, and then I finally like got out. I was like la 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 la, and like called my parents to come pick me up, and I was like la 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 la, like
oh my God.
And then they came and picked me up, and and she was like laughing. I was like, it's okay, but I like physically ran.
It's like what she was expecting you to say was something so short.
Yeah, totally.
So then after you ran away into the bathroom, eventually you probably came out.
A couple days later, I had to go back to school. You guys remember?
Yeah.
And it was just like, she was like, she was like, hi. It was like it had happened without me meaning to.
And then after that, did you come out to your parents?
Not for like 6 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
They knew though. I mean, they knew, I knew that they knew it was hell. And I was like, but then I just like, I did a little, I guess I did it in person with my mom when she like visited me at college. But with such, I was like glaring as I did it. Because I like refused to make it a moment.
Glaring as I did it. I totally know what you mean of where you refuse somehow. There's something in you that's like, I'm not going to let you have this.
Like the Hallmark version. I'm not doing it.
Right. I'm not going to do the Hallmark version. I'm not going to let you have like a narrative in your head.
Yes.
And that's when John sat on the bed and he took my hand and he said, there's something I have to tell you.
No, I was like, truly.
And then what was her reaction?
She was really hilarious about it. Really great. Like, I'm very lucky. She was like, I was like, how I procrastinate? I'm like mad at her for no reason. She was like,
how I procrastinate?
I was like, how I procrastinate on like papers?
Oh my God.
And she was like,
so
yeah.
funny.
And I was like, well, I do it with like life stuff too.
Oh my God. And
she was like, yeah. And I was like, and no, and then she said something kind of genius, and I'll never remember, but it was like, does this have something? Oh no, it was like, does this have something to do with you answering the door to like my like uncle from West Virginia wearing your sister's communion dress, like first communion dress or something? And I was like, yes. It was genius.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
One of my first jokes in college when I started doing stand up was after a friend of mine, my best friend in college, came out to me and it was he said, I'm gay, and I said, I know. He said, I'm in the closet, and I go, yeah, but the closet has an NSYNC poster on it.
Literally did it.
I mean, it might as well. Yeah. I mean, it was just like long. It was long overdue.
That's really funny.
Yeah. The
baptismal gown.
Baptismal gown.
I just want to make sure I'm representing her work on this podcast.
Do you want to pick it up?
Nope.
No. Okay. Moving on. Did your life go the way you thought it would?
I mean, in some ways, yes. Like I was hoping for the kind of like the Bette Midler thing. I want to be absolutely clear, and please leave this in, Mike.
Sure.
That like when I'm talking about Bette Midler, I am in no way compare. Like I'm not trying to say like I have the voice, okay, or whatever, or the cultural impact. Some would argue it's impossible to even have that cultural impact anymore with the fracturing of media. But I did want to be like performing in New York.
You're saying you're a modern day Bette Midler. Yeah. Let me make sure I'm getting it right. You wrote me an email where you said, Mike, it's John.
There's no email.
I'm a modern day Bette Midler. Do you understand me? And if you don't, I'm not coming on the podcast. Sincerely, John Early. Why'd you write that email?
I was scared.
I was scared.
But yeah, in that sense, yes, I wanted to be in New York doing shows, and
so you sort of saw it for yourself.
Yeah.
Even when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Sex is real.
Sex is real.
Sex is something people do, and you can choose to do it or not to do it.
Sexually, no. Like sexually, I thought that was gonna be really different. I thought my life would be very different. Like I thought gayness would be really different.
Oh, interesting.
Like I thought I thought romance and sex would be very different, and it's of course turned out to be its own surprising, often enjoyable thing. But
when you said often enjoyable, it
seems like never.
It seems like yours a hint of irony.
Yeah.
Often
Was it because I
enjoyable.
looked directly at the camera?
Oh gosh.
But in terms of art and performance and stuff. Yeah.
Do you think you're more romantic than your partners?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
You're such a sincere person.
Yeah. I can be a little treacly or schmaltzy or and that's the Presbyterian in me. That's the
the Presbyterian in you? The Presbyterian.
Yes.
The Presbyterian Church has made a statement.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, they said we do not stand behind John Early or any of his statements about our
There's
church.
no printer. I don't understand what's happening.
But what do you mean by that? That's the Presbyterian.
Well,
in you.
I think there's a kind of Protestant kind of
right.
oversimplified, maybe kind of
right. We're gonna do this the right way,
and I'm cooking, and
right.
And I think that's in me, and it makes me as a romantic partner probably a little insufferable.
Interesting.
And maybe sometimes enjoyable.
Like you want things just so.
Certain things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. And I don't like it. It's a life of pain. Being like that is you're signing up for a life of pain and just constant disappointment. And it's so unfair to your partner.
Yeah.
Because it's they're always they have to measure up to something they don't even know. They don't, you're you have some weird narrative about how a birthday should be, or or how a meal should go, or how meeting the parents should. It's and they don't share that
For sure.
and then they're always falling short.
It's funny because there was an article in the Times over the weekend about the things you should never say in an argument in a relationship.
Yeah.
And I was reading them and I was some of them I was yeah, maybe a variation on that I've said, maybe I was pretty good on the quiz. And then the one that made me laugh was to never say I never said that.
Oh my God.
I was oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of it nullifies what the person's concern is.
Yes, and it's legal.
That one spun me in circles though, because I was but what if you didn't say it?
Yeah, what do you say if you didn't say it?
That was the only one where I was yeah, but what if you didn't say it? And then the person
I'm sorry
says
you
said
felt
it.
like I said that.
I'm sorry you felt like I said that, though I didn't.
Yeah.
But then that's
Or
breaking
you
the
just
rule.
having not said that. Comma.
Having not said that,
yeah.
what's the best piece of advice anyone's given you in your life that you used? Or for that matter, like, were you ever at Tisch and like you had a professor who said something where you're like, I'll never I'll never forget that.
Yes, I had one teacher who was like, and I do think this is like, it's like, it was like a really straightforward physical note, which is why I was receptive to it, because it didn't feel like therapy, but I actually knew what she was saying was like very profound. And I was like, she was like, John, you're always like, your neck is like always like this, like you're like, your head is always up here. And she's like, you just have to let us see your face.
Yeah.
She was like, just like, put your head down, like move your chin down. And it was like, and I was like, oh, and I was like, oh my God. And like when I did, I was like, like I didn't cry, but I really did feel like, oh, I am very deliberately kind of not letting people look at me.
Wow.
And I do think, I do think that like, you just do have to let people look at you. You have to like let the camera like sit on your face and like let it like, you just that's like basically what it is. And that can be very hard. Yeah. And there's so much contemporary acting too. That's like the camera, because people are so used to the camera being on them now. Yeah. That's not like looking at a camera and like putting your image out there. There's nothing that no longer costs anything. Yeah. It's not scary for anyone.
Yeah.
But doing that without doing this.
Yeah.
Pursing
your lips
and changing your voice a little bit so it's a little down here.
Yeah.
Like that. I'm like, so much acting today is like, is this, and like I'm like pushing your voice down and like being, and like it's like,
this is great, by the way.
You gotta,
what you're doing right now is what we want. We're gonna re-record. We're just gonna have you do whatever this character is.
Thank you.
We'd like an hour of this.
I actually do want to do that. I really, really want to do that character. But God. No one's giving it to us. No one's speaking or singing in their real voice anymore. It's an epidemic.
Yeah. What do you think are people's favorite thing about you and least favorite thing about you?
Favorite thing about me is probably like, a good time.
Oh my God.
I'm funny, like I think I like to bring people together. I like to I'm a social person, like to bring people together. I think least favorite thing is probably this exact thing we were talking about, of the kind of like romantic or like
Presbyterian,
the Presbyterian thing in me. That's like the sentimentality.
Yes,
that is in its way, as I've learned over the years. It's like, it is kind of coercive. Like that is what people don't like about sentimentality. It's not just a sentimentality itself. It's that it's like, it's like, feel this way with me. It's like, you should be up here with me. And it's like people are like, ugh, because I hate that. I hate when people do that to me. That's why I like was repulsed by like church,
right.
So anyway,
you're making me realize in this very moment that I am guilty of that.
And that's okay. I think a lot of performers are.
This very rarely happens on the podcast. No, I mean almost never.
Yeah.
And what I'll say is, I love the thing people love most about you, and I love the thing people love least about you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it as your friend. I mean, we don't see each other all the time, but I feel close to you, and I feel like I appreciate both things about you. I've been with you, and I feel like I've witnessed both things, and I think they're both wonderful.
That's very nice, Mike. I have compassion for it, because it's like, it is basically like the question we all grapple with, which is like, or choose not to grapple with, choose to like run away from, which is like, is life meaningless, or and do I create my own meaning, or is it happening to me? Like,
right.
And that's, I think sentimentality comes from a desire to like, for things to be meaningful and to not look at the void, and
to format things into rituals and meaningful symbols,
which can be so helpful for people. No,
completely.
And also suffocating for those closest to you.
Oh my gosh. All right, I'm gonna just tell you a couple bits I'm working on,
Okay.
and if you have thoughts on or memories or anything, if it strikes anything, and also feel free to throw in any if you're working on anything that's sort of half baked right now too.
Oh my God, I wish.
I wish. I tell like a long elaborate story about my daughter going to birthday parties and how essentially like when your child is 8, you go to birthday parties like 365 days a year, and you're just like she has 8 friends.
Yeah.
Like there's some kind of fraud going on here. I think some of these kids are claiming 20, 30 birthdays a year. And they're just, all these kids are just so excited.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's just so excited about being alive, except me. And I have to
so
drive. And you really want the driver to be excited about life. That's the other half-baked things I took. I took her to this birthday party at this place called Urban Air, which is hell. And I've gone before to Urban Air, and I was just like, I'm not going in again. So Jenny went in with Una, and I circled the block. I have a joke in my show right now, and I don't think it's ever going to work, but it makes me laugh. Good parents take their kids to birthday parties. Great parents circle the block.
To always be ready.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
yeah.
that's so good.
Circle the block. It's like one of those things that sometimes in my shows I'll go like, you might come see me in 6 months or a year. And you go, that's funnier. That's better. And, a lot of times I'll also be like, that joke will not be in the show. But that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Like the circle the block thing, just the metaphor doesn't complete.
I don't know. I think it does have its own internal poetry. That I'm always chasing after, as you know.
Speaking of which, like when you were directing Jacqueline, what do you think was the most helpful note you would give consistently in that show? Because I love that show so much.
I think just like, I mean, it was like all her, obviously. Like directing is a bold, name for me, for my title. But like, the thing that I just think was like always reminding her to like, to not forget, and this is just such a basic kind of theater thing, is like not forget that people aren't hearing this for the first time, because like
Yes.
she's has such a brilliant mind, and her arguments plural are so like dense and like intricate, and she was very focused, obviously, on the clarity of those arguments. And I was always like, well, part of the clarity can just be like, pretend like you're at dinner with me.
Yes.
And just talk to me across the table and like explain it to me how you would explain at dinner. And like, I would be like, like dumb, and so you would really slow it down, and like you'd be checking in with me to see if I'm getting it. And, so it was always like dinner, just like keep it at dinner, and that'll help lock you into a kind of relationship with the audience.
I love that. That's great advice. I feel like I've both given that advice and received that advice from my
I
director,
always
Seth
need to hear it
Parrish.
too.
I have to hear it.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's one of those things. No matter how many times you hear a piece of advice, if it's as good as the advice you're saying right now, and I actually would project that out to anyone who's listening to this, who's a comic or a solo performer. It's like, remind yourself every show, they have not heard the words.
Yeah.
They don't know the words.
Yeah.
It's an entirely new concept.
No, I know. It's crazy. And it makes it so much more fun.
Yeah.
And I think there's like something, I think Jacqueline and I relate, like we both are very kind of embarrassed by like the fundamental like premise of comedy sometimes, of like that you have, like the kind of the social contract is that you have to kind of say it as if you're saying it for the first time, and your eyes have to dart up to your memory, or like you pull words from, even though you know what the word is.
Yeah.
You still have to kind of perform like you're like kind of figuring it out. And like, it's, and there's something, I think we both are like, so like, ew. But then it's like, well, then then what are you without that? Like without that device of like working through it for the first time, you're like completely figured out, and like what you're like a performance artist who's like saying words, it's like it's so generous to be, it's so much more generous to pretend to be conversational and intimate with an audience than it is to do some sort of strange thing where it's already figured out, I don't know.
Where you're like presenting your thesis.
Yeah. Totally.
I brought you here today to convince you of one thing.
Yeah.
And then this is the other one is, so Jenny and I, for our daughter's 6th birthday, we asked her, we go, what would be like your favorite thing that we could do for your birthday? And she said, I want you and Mom to dress up like clowns.
That's so sweet.
So Jenny and I went to a costume shop. We got the full makeup. We got full outfits. We woke her up on her birthday. We said, happy birthday, Una. She started crying.
No.
And I think she still thought she was in a dream.
Yeah.
And we were just like, no, no, it's us. And then we're just like, we're so sorry. What's wrong?
Yeah.
She goes, when I said you should dress up as clowns, I meant that I would walk you around town and people would laugh at you. Oh. And that's when I realized,
like sadistic little girl.
That's when I realized that she wanted to be my manager. She wanted to make 10% on top of 100%.
Well, this has to go on the show.
I love this. Jenny literally said the other day, because she was listening to the show, she goes like, it's almost like the title of the show should have something to do with clowns.
Yeah.
Because it's like there's something metaphoric about the way in which we try to please the people who we love. Mm-hmm. And in the process, the last thing we do is working out for a cause. Is there an organization you like to donate to? I will donate to them. I will link to them in the show notes and encourage others to donate as well.
I would like to choose.
Why the voice? Why the voice?
Because I just do want to let the audience in on my search for the actual name of this place. Which is
what search?
There was a search. We took a break to search the National Nurses United, the largest nurses union in the country. Okay, we all in 2016 got very charity pilled. It was very like, here's the thing that you can donate to, and I think giving to unions is a smart way to make sure your money is getting used directly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I will contribute to National Nurses United. I will link to them in the show notes. John Early, I never say this. I don't think I've ever said this. I feel like I have a lot of thinking to do. I think a lot of thinking and reflecting.
I'm honored.
It was a very deep conversation. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And I urge people to watch your special. It's